I need me one of these for the shop. I need a big one. Yeah, thank God that camera far away. This hair so look. Video at the shop like this, set it up. Yeah. You want to sit over here?
I don't want to be in it though. I'm just smoking.
You I'm probably by the window. I can't see by the window, but I can see. Got your little studio shit set up. Okay. Might check 1, 2. Picture you look set up. Who you? Yeah, you gotta have all social media now. If you're gonna be doing podcasting. Break them hard. Yeah, it looks like it's the way it's made. I thought it came with fours. They already think I smoke crack. Everybody be like, what's wrong with you? I lost weight. Is you on something? I'm like, that is so rude. My God, Mama yesterday kept telling me, what you doing? What you doing different? I was like, you on the same on drugs? Yeah. They ready to say, you on crack. You on crack. I like these at first, but they break the weed down too much. Yeah. Brittany yeah. At first I liked it.
I like to taste my weed.
Yeah.
I like to taste my weed. Like, you gotta hit that bitch like 2-3 times.
Yeah.
That's what it is, motherfucker. You burn that shit up too much.
Brittany had me using it.
I be amazing people who don't want to say I bring that shit down. On the playlist, whatever playlist you want to do.
Harry keeps standing up.
That's fine, let him stand up. Close the door before he come in.
He's
Close the door for he can stand up. Would you put the disc in the Xbox?
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Shit, this the lighting we need for the photo shoots. Like when I want to do hair, I just need a good ass camera. Use your phone.
if you didn't know, now you know. You're with the host, Red Boy Jocko, and I'm here with a very special guest today, my sister, owner of, what's the name of your shop?
Abundance of Beauty Hair Salon LLC,
Okay.
located in Augusta, Georgia.
We're gonna make sure we drop that in the description below. So, what's been going on?
Hair, nothing but hair.
Remember hair?
Life and hair.
Life and hair.
Life and hair.
Shit, with the pandemic, you ain't got no choice, really.
Right.
Go on with life.
Yeah, it's a blessing to still be open.
Right. So, how everything been going with the pandemic and everything? With
Business wise, it's better, but it is not like it was before the pandemic. But there's no room for complaints on that end either, because it's been things set up in place such as self-employment, pandemic, unemployment, all of that kind of stuff, the PPP, all the stuff that they offer out now to kind of like keep us in business. So it's been some things in place to keep us up and running. It's still a struggle,
Right.
but it's been some things placed for us to stay in business.
You say the PPP now. Everybody doing the loans, everybody doing the product. Do that make it harder on business owners, or is that easier?
It make it harder if you ain't doing things the right way. If you ain't doing things the right way, it's definitely gonna make it harder. You might not get caught up in it today, but eventually somehow they're gonna track you down and get you for whatever's going on. But if I can't prove anything, I don't write down anything. If I ain't got the numbers to match, I leave it alone.
Yeah, but they ain't playing.
Mm-mm.
They take down anybody, no matter who it
Serious.
is.
Yeah, if I don't have a paper trail to follow what I'm saying, I leave it alone.
Okay.
One type of people you don't want behind you, that's the IRS.
Right. IRS.
If you're trying to run a legitimate business, you don't want no bad blood, no red flags with them.
Right. So you say hair, like, I know how you got into hair, but we're gonna let people know like how you got started.
I got started
How you
actually
got
through
started.
babysitting.
What made you love it and everything?
I got started actually babysitting, and I would play in the little girls' hair and the little boys' hair, and their moms would just be so fascinated with the work. And then it went from me doing that to actually doing my classmates' hair. And then when I realized I could actually make money doing it, I was like, okay, this is something I want to do. So I started doing hair for $10 and $20 out mama house.
Yeah.
And mama was like, okay, if this is something you want to do and you see yourself doing it for a while, once you go to school, take it up and be legal with it. So it went from me graduating high school, going straight into hair school. When I got into hair school, I really knew that that's what I wanted to do. I really enjoyed it a whole lot. Going to hair shows, meeting different people, mingling with, just networking, period. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be.
Now, a lot of females say they want to do hair or whatever, but so what's the advice you can give them, because they want to do it but they don't
apply yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, apply yourself. The first thing you want to start doing is researching, figuring out what's the first step. Usually the first step is trying to find out what school you want to go to. You don't have to have a clientele in the beginning, because that's what school is for. It's going to walk you through it. Once you get into school, you graduate and get your license, the next step for me, in my opinion, is to go corporate. I know a lot of stylists, the first thing they want to do is go into these private shops. But if you've never done hair on a professional level and you don't have no form of organization, you need to go corporate. Corporate it's a lot of cons versus pros in corporate, but the biggest pros in it, I would say, is helping you. It'll help you build your clientele. It'll teach you organization. It'll get you on track to running your own business. You'll kind of like see how it go on the front end and the back end. And then once you build your clientele up enough to where you feel like you can get out there on your own, or at least bootstrap, and then go for it. But I say the first year to 3 years, I think everybody should start off corporate. No longer than that. Maybe 5, but I really want to even push it to 5. Because that's a lot of money going down the drain. It don't take that long to kind of figure out the ropes, but yeah. I did it way too long, like almost 9 years, and that was my biggest regret. Yeah. Going corporate almost 9 years. Like, you never really have ownership of anything, not even the customers. They not yours, because when you leave corporate, most of the times they stay corporate. Yeah. Corporate clients are not going to come into the private shop world.
Okay.
It's totally different.
Right, the whole vibes.
Yeah, so, but the good thing about being corporate, when you come out of corporate and you go into this private world, you're not afraid to build a clientele because now you know what it's like to get your people and keep your people and bring in new and better, like more. So that's the good thing about the corporate world. That's one thing I did learn, how to reel people in, how to keep them, how to just keep it going.
All right. So what was your first job, in the corporate business?
Hair Cuttery. Hair Cuttery was my first and it was my favorite, the Augusta Mall. When I first started there, it was real nerve-wracking because I went to hair school in South Carolina. And in South Carolina, they don't give you a permit to work off of. When you go to hair school, you have to like go all the way. You got to go to state board, get your stuff. In Georgia, when you graduate from hair school, they give you a little work permit that'll kind of hold you off until you get your hair license. And then you have a time frame that you have to meet. But South Carolina didn't do that. So when I first started at Hair Cuttery, I had to be a receptionist. When I say get it out the mud, it's get it out the mud when you're a receptionist because you know how to do hair and you working around these people who really don't know what they doing, and it's like, I know I would have killed that style. I know I would have killed that haircut. And you can't do nothing. Like, you just stuck at this desk, bringing people up, booking people for their next appointment. So that was the most nerve-wracking thing about when I first got started.
Okay.
But I didn't stay a receptionist long. It took me about 2 months. My first portion was when you go to state board in South Carolina, you have to do your practical and then you do your hands-on. So you have to pretty much book them 30 days apart. So after 2 months, I was able to get my license and get out on the floor.
Okay. So when you say you was a receptionist, so coming in, like, is that the first place they stick you at, or can you just get straight on?
If you don't have a license, that's gonna be the first place that they stick you at, reception.
Okay.
Once you have a hair license and you get hired on the spot, you go to the floor. Like, unless you want to start receptioning. But most of the people that I work with went straight to the floor because they got their license in Georgia, so they had a work permit. They could work from there.
Okay.
Working receptionist, the good thing about that I was able to take advantage of was just kind of figuring out how the clients came in, how the flow went versus being able to come in and go straight to the floor. Being a receptionist, I was able to kind of get a feel of everything. So that was the good thing about it. But the bad thing was the pay and not being able to do hair. To just be sitting around looking at people do hair and I can't do no hair.
Yeah.
I was like, this ain't the life.
You ain't making no money like I did.
No, I gotta get on the floor. I need some tips. I'm ready to start cutting and doing this, doing that. So.
Okay. I definitely remember the hair cutter.
Yeah, and then we end up getting bought out. Hair Cutter ended up going out of business, and Famous Hair Regis came in. So everybody who was there, we kind of like stayed on the hair career payroll type thing. Only thing we had kind of lost was our benefits. And that's the good thing too about the corporate world. When you go corporate, you don't have to worry about looking for any type of insurance. They got medical, they got your vision, they got your dental, they got the 401ks, all that type of stuff. And then taxes, that's another thing. They taking their taxes out every 2 weeks, so you don't have to really do anything. You just waiting on your W-2. So when it's time to file taxes, you got everything laid out. All you got to do is pay the money to get it done. Private shops is totally different. You could pay your taxes quarterly, or you could just wait until you file your actual taxes and let the IRS take what you owe for the year then. So that's the hardest part about going private.
So those are like the pros and cons of both of them.
Yeah. But like I said, once you go corporate and you kind of figure it out, when you get out there in your own world, you know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So if you get behind and get caught up with the IRS, it's like you knew better.
Yeah. All right. So tell like all the aspiring young ladies who want to, be business owners, let them know, the challenges and everything they got to do to, try to make that happen. Because most of these females, they ain't coming out, trying to be corporate or do that. They trying to either do it in somebody's house or something like that, or they trying to get that money. Yeah. They basically want that money. Yeah. So let the females know, how to be.
Before the challenges, I'm gonna give you some great advice. Go for it. If you feel like this is what you want to do and you want to be a business owner, go for it. But get you some skills and experience under your belt first. The challenges of getting a business started is the legwork, and all businesses don't require a lot of things, but in hair, I know you have to have a salon state license. You have to get a business license from your city. You have to have certain inspections done depending on if you leasing or purchasing your building. You have to make sure your hair license stays up to date. Like the paperwork side of it is a lot. Like where my business is at, we actually have to have a sewer drainage check, like an inspection on that. Like it's just a lot of tedious stuff you got to get done. It won't break your pockets if you keep your clientele going, but it's tedious things that has to be done yearly or every other year, and you have to stay on top of it. If you decide to turn your business into an LLC, it's another bill or another responsibility you have to have, but it's every other year. You don't have to renew your LLC every year. You can renew it every other year. But like those are the challenges to me, just staying on top of those things. But it's worth it. When you work for yourself, you don't have anybody to answer to, and you want to take time off of work, and you got that understanding with your clients, especially when life things happen that you can't control, like deaths. When deaths happen, and I worked in the corporate world, I miss so many family members' funerals and things like that, because it's like you can't take time off today because you just took time off last week, or no, you ain't gonna be able to make it to your granddaddy's funeral because you just had last weekend off. But when you work for yourself, these are the things that you can do. When you want to have kids, you can set, like, you can pretty much make your own schedule. Everything is around your life. Yeah, you can pretty much do that. So there are some challenges, but I feel like it's more advantages than disadvantages into opening up any business.
So it's always obstacles and stuff, getting in the way. So that's just life. But so would you say it's tougher?
Nope, I wouldn't even say that. Yeah, I would not say it's tougher, especially if you're built for it.
Right.
Everybody ain't built for certain things. And I ain't gonna say everybody not built to be a business owner. You may not be built to be a specific business owner. I think everybody is built to be a business owner or a boss. I think everybody built for it. It's just a matter of applying yourself. But certain businesses we just not built for. So I wouldn't want to deter nobody away from starting their own business, whether it be selling candles, doing hair, any type of business. Like, no, if you feel like you need to do it, do it. If it fail, guess what? When you want to open up the next business, go to a whole nother name and start all over. Like, don't give up. Right. If this business don't work out, I'll open up another hair salon with a whole different name and try it all over again. And at least the second time, I know what I did the first time wrong. So when I do it again the second time, I'm like, okay, I know where I messed up with that business. So when I open up this one, I know what I got to do this time.
Right. Because I think that's like the hardest thing. Like when anybody trying to do anything, trying to open any type of business or make any type of money, is you always is the possibility of failing or not being able to accomplish stuff.
So even if you feel like your business is failing, let it drop and pick it up and start back over. Go a whole nother route, or you may even have to change what that business is. Like I said, today you might be doing hair, tomorrow you might be wanting to do something else. So don't let one failed business stop you from doing your next business. Like, I just feel like we all made to be bosses.
Okay, most definitely. So talk about the hair now. All right, we talk about when you started. So how is hair from when you first started to hair now?
When I first started,
what's like?
Let me see. When I first started, it was faster paced, I can say. I think because I'm doing different things now. When I first started, I mostly cut hair. Hair Cuttery was mainly a salon of hair cutting. Like, we did little styles in between, but mostly hair cutting. As the years go on, you start opening up to different things like locks, weaves, little girl crochet, like that type of stuff. That's what I see different now. We're starting to kind of like expand and do more things, and the trends are changing a lot faster than it used to. When I first got started, everybody was stuck on flat tops for a very long time. Now they go from sponges to skink fades to mohawks. Like, everything changes and evolves so faster now than it did when I first got started. Like today, you got to be willing to change your whatever you was used to doing. You got to be willing to move it on to the next a lot faster than what we used to.
Okay. You talking about like, yeah, I remember you starting off, you know, cutting hair.
Yeah, I cut hair.
Yeah.
Like, that was my main clientele, just
Yeah.
cutting hair. Versus now, my main thing is probably gonna be sew-ins and braids.
Okay.
I still get little haircuts here and there, but not nearly like it was when I first got started.
All right. So yeah, we was talking about. I remember that like with the. That's why I ain't never like having low tops and shit, cause it when like we ain't have sponges and then shit, all that shit you got now.
So now it's
So it's easier now.
Yeah.
So that's with the haircut. What about like the weave and all that stuff? How it was back then?
Totally different. Weaves, black women specifically, were so afraid to wear weave compared to now.
Yeah.
Now you could get a 5-6-year-old that'd be ready to wear weave. Back then, even grown college women was just like afraid of it. If you introduced them to weave, they was just so self-conscious, and they felt like because they knew it was weave, this person, that person, everybody knew I got weave in my head. Now, people don't give a damn. They like, they'll peel that lace off in front of you and be like, yep, it's a wig, and I'm finna slide that thing back on. So it's totally different today than it was back then. Like, nobody is ashamed of lashes, makeup, weaves. Like, they not afraid, they're not ashamed, and they don't mind paying to get it done. If they want it and it's right, they're gonna continue to get it done. But back in the day, no. Only people that was doing weaves and stuff was people who had alopecia or cancer. Like, they had no other choice. They had to do it. And even they was afraid to let people know that they was doing it.
Yeah, like it's so many different hairstyles now. Like I definitely don't know, and like you do hair, so I definitely don't know what.
Like, I remember 10 years ago, certain women want to be in private rooms to get their hair done because they just was afraid. Some of them for religion. Like, I had a few Muslim women that just couldn't unfold themselves in front of people in public. So some of them because of religion, they was afraid. And then I got some, like I had recently some Muslims that would come in and say, am I gonna be the only one in the shop? And I'd be like, no, it's gonna be another person in there. And they would be like, okay, well, we normally don't take our things off, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it off since your shop is kind of small. But back 10 years ago, they would be like, no, that would just turn them completely off from you. They'd be like, I'm gonna go to another salon because I have to have my privacy. So that's another big difference that I noticed now compared to back then. Women just, they kind of like not afraid as they used to be.
Okay. You think that's, how is that now? You think that's a good thing?
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because we have to be comfortable in our skin. I need to be comfortable with you if I got hair versus if all my hair fell out. Like, I think it's a good thing, and it helps women build their confidence. Like, nobody want to live in fear. Nobody want to live afraid all the time. So I think it's a good thing that now these women are able to express themselves how they want to.
That's what's up. Yeah. So, all right, so with the clients, let's get into clients. You know, everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but most people now have kids, and, you know, most of them have little girls or whatever. So, what would you tell the females, you know, trying to do hair, but they scared to do kids? Because, you know, kids don't sit still. Kids need toys, they need candy, or
everybody ain't built for that either.
We gotta talk about the challenges. We gotta talk about
that's another challenge that I see a lot in the hair world. You have most stylists today are not gonna do children. They be like, you better take it down the street. They specialize in kids. I don't do kids. I think it's a matter of the setting. Some kids, if you take them in the barbershop where they do certain things, when them kids come in the barbershops and their house ain't set up like that, you're gonna get a different vibe. They just gonna be like, this ain't how it is at the old barbershop, or this ain't how it is. So I think it's proper settings. You got to have, like for me, when I know my kids coming, we Netflixing it out. I'm gonna have TikTok playing, like certain things. I'm gonna have little toys in the room, coloring books. Like certain things I want to make that child comfortable, and that's going to make my visit and my experience and their visit a whole lot different versus just throwing them anywhere. So I think a lot of females that kind of like, and then a lot of people don't have patience. You got to have patience for kids. Some of them, as soon as they see them screaming, how they be like, don't come over here with that. Don't start that. Like, you can't approach every child the same way. So when you see that kid coming up to you and they scared and you do that, all they doing is getting more and more afraid, and they just like, I don't want to be here no more than you. You're not gonna touch my hair. So like, the setting is everything. You just gotta know what you're seeking. Like, everybody can't do kids. Everybody can't. I wouldn't take my kids to everybody. I done took my boys to the barbershop, and I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, you know,
we ain't sat here for 5 minutes, and we done seen a whole porn tape go on in 5 minutes. Like, come on, boys, let's go. And they ain't even teenagers at that time. They weren't even teenagers yet, so I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so because I know, like, going back to the mall or whatever, we know, like, they had black and white clients.
It was diverse, family oriented, so it was very easy there. That's why I think I built my skills for dealing with children. Okay. Like, I done been 9 months pregnant before and kicked in the stomach by a baby, and I'm just like, I just stepped back, took a breath, and I told the mom, I said, if he kicked me or touched me again, we ain't gonna be able to finish his haircut. We had a little talk with him. After that, he was just fine. Okay. So I just feel like it's your approach, it's your setting, like all of that make a difference.
Right. Because, you know, some people would be scared, you know, both white and black. Because I had went in a super, what's the little?
Super clips or?
Super clips or something like that. Yeah. And the people kind of looked at me were like, I'm scared to do this. Yeah. And one girl, you know, I had to tell her, I was like, man, you know, whatever you do. If it's messed up, I go somewhere else. But at that time, I needed a cut, so I was like,
I ain't got no choice.
Go ahead. I ain't knowing the barbershops was. So, you know, some black people might be scared because, you know, they ain't never did a white person. And vice versa. Most times, white people would be scared to cut or do anything to a black person. So, how they can get out of that?
The best thing to get out of that is to do it. Like, you got to go for it. And if you feel, most salons, like Great Clips, Super Cuts, Hair Cuttery, stuff like that, they train you. They have classes where you're gonna be hands-on with whites, blacks, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. That's why I was so comfortable in my setting at Hair Cuttery. Before they put me out on the floor, I went to these classes, and you might be working on a Mexican person today, or the next 3 hours, now we doing Caucasian hair, now we doing this and that. So they kind of like broke the ice and made sure that we felt comfortable doing it. But if I felt like I couldn't, I wasn't going to force it. I was going to say, okay, I'm going to tell you, the hardest thing for me was blending African-American hair, short clipper cutting. That was the hardest thing, but I didn't give up on it. I was like, okay, I'm going to take this some classes.
So what's the blending? You got to tell the people who don't know.
Fading, pretty much, fading.
Okay.
When you got to fade a black person's hair, you got to go against the grain a lot more tighter and closer than you would with Caucasian, Mexican, Oriental hair. So that was a big challenge. At first, I just was like, I ain't cutting black men hair. Bump that. I'm just doing white people. But you can't do that like that. It's so, like, you just can't do that. So I had to figure that out. I was like, no, I'm looking like a big sellout. Because it's like, you could cut all these other people hair, but as soon as your own come your chair, you can't even. So I was like, no, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to get this. So the way to learn was to go to hair shows. I had a barber teacher. I reached back out to her. She taught me some things like, I was just like, no, I'm not giving up. And then y'all used to let me cut y'all hair in high school. And y'all was my first guinea pigs. So just doing that, I was like, no, I'm gonna get this, because I'm not gonna look like a stylist to say, oh, I do this hair, but I don't do that hair. Like certain stuff. I might not do certain styles, and I'm not gonna not do your hair because of your race. Like, I was just like, no, that's not gonna happen.
I know that's what a lot of people, like I said, that whole experience, I was like, I wasn't mad because I wanted something at the time. Yeah. But
just how that make you feel when you walk in it, that's even a restaurant. If I walked in a restaurant and you just make it look like blacks ain't allowed here, like, I don't want nobody to feel like that when they come to me. Like, the business my own business now has been open almost 6 years now. And in the area I'm in, it's predominantly black. So you rarely get any other race to step in. But I can remember 2 years ago, right before the pandemic, I had a young Caucasian boy come in, wanted his hair cut for the prom. I kid you not, in the area where I was at, this guy was turned down by 5 different barbershops. And he was like, every barbershop I walked in around, he was like, oh, we don't cut white people. We don't do white people. We don't do. And I was like, really? I was like, oh no, you come on, sit right here. He was like, you think you could do it? I said, yeah, I've done this for a long time. I said, no, you're not gonna be late for your prom because everybody around here saying they can't do your hair. I was like, sit right here, I got you. I cut his hair, charged him $20. He gave me an extra $20 on top of that just for the hassle. He just like, I just got tired of riding. You gonna have me on time for my prom, and I love my cut.
Okay.
And all he wanted, like he had hair on the top of his head and a ponytail wrapped in a bun. So all he needed was a shave on the bottom and a nice, shave him up.
Okay.
Nice little he didn't even want it faded out. Like he just skinny, and then just take me up, and I'm good to go. So.
Okay.
I was like, that's one good skill I think I learned from hair cutter that I brought way 20 years later with me.
Okay. So definitely, so would you say when you go to the hair school, like we just attend, so y'all have like people y'all could practice on, like different races?
Yep. When you first get in hair school, you learn the book side. Once you get out of the book side, we start to do practical. That's when you actually go on the floor. Mm-hmm. You do mannequins for a certain time of the day, and then the rest of the day you go on the floor and you do live clients. And it's no, I don't feel like doing a roller set today, so I'm gonna just cut hair today. No, whatever. When you went up to the board, whatever client was next, that's what you had to do. Whatever they was getting done, you take that client and you get it done. On Saturdays at Schuler, that's where I graduated from in North Augusta. All day long, it was nothing but live clients from 8 o'clock, I think, until about 3 o'clock. You worked on clients, live clients. We did facials, we did different kind of hairstyles, pedicures, polishing nails. Like, you had to get on the floor and actually do live clients.
Okay. So is it anything you would say, like, if somebody come in and be like, oh, I want this or whatever, and you feel like you can't do it, or you know, you want to do it or something, like, well,
in hair school, I would fake it till I make it. In this world I'm in now with social media, hell no. If I can't do something, I ain't afraid to say, oh, I don't do that. Yeah. Like I got stuff now, I don't do no lace. I don't know how to do singles, twists and stuff like that. Now in hair school, like I say, back then I needed a grade, I need to graduate, so I'd have faked it till I make it. Right. I knew if I messed up, I'd be like, hey, Miss Fountain, I need you to come over here. But in this industry here, nobody. They will have you on Facebook and Instagram saying, I asked for this and this is what I got. And they will tear your shop down or your whole image down. So no, if I can't do it or I'm not skilled in it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to flat out say, nope, I don't do that.
Yeah, so that's definitely the challenges from doing hair back then to doing now, social media and everything. And I mean, that could be a good and bad thing too, though. Yeah. With the whole, you know, I don't think I like this, and then somebody be like, oh yeah, I like this. I think y'all should come check out and do all this. Yeah. So what you specialize in hair? Like,
I don't have a specialty. When people call me up and ask me that,
what all you can do?
I'm gonna tell you what I do. I still do a little hair cutting from time to time. I do roller sets still. I still do my relaxers and colors, locks. I'm not a loctician, so when it comes to adding extensions and pinning them up all different ways, if you send me a style and I don't know how to do it, I'm gonna tell you up front, I don't know how to do it. I can retwist you, but I don't know how to do that. I still do my quick weaves, my sew-ins, traditional sew-ins, not the lace frontals and all that. Crochet, and like I say, I ain't gonna say it's my specialty, but what I do mostly is braids and crochet and sew-ins. Like those are my biggest tickets. Those are what keep the doors open for Abundance of Beauty. They're my biggest tickets, and that's what keep the doors open, the bills paid. Those top three: braids, crocheting, and sew-ins.
Okay. All right. So let the people know, you know, what you got going on outside of, you know, hair and the shop. Let them know a little bit about you.
Outside of doing hair, shoot, it's football. Outside of doing hair is my kids, like constantly. My oldest, really, he just keep us tied up into sports, football. Now we get into this track stuff.
And you still a mom at the end of the day. You do have.
Yep, do have.
Mom at the end of the day.
I've been tapping into trying to sell my own product. Okay. Like that's the kind of stuff I do on the side. And now I got me a new little gig. My boyfriend be doing concession. I be at the games kind of dabbling into that a little bit. Yeah. So like kind of like outside of actually working, that's what I be doing. Sports and activities with the kids and concession and trying to push my little hairline.
Right. So you still have time, you know, to do that.
Yeah, I still make time.
Business and doing hair and stuff. So, you know, because, you know, just pretty much everybody got kids, so you gotta let them know they still
Yeah.
can do it too.
Work is important, but my kids is just as important. Like, like definitely, I make time for them. Like, and I make sure that they know that I'm like my whole schedule had to change based off their needs.
Right.
I have to take a break in the middle of the day to make sure they got food and stuff like that when they get home from school. And then like weekends, I shut off working on weekends because most of our games was on Saturdays, track meets on Saturdays. My oldest, he was doing travel league football, kind of still is. So sometimes we turn a weekend of a game into a weekend of a vacation. We're like, okay, you got a game Friday, but we're gonna take the whole weekend and just stay and get into some things. So we make time for fun. We make time for fun.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I know you got going a little bit, but tell me your top 5 clients like you want to walk in Abundance of Beauty. The 5 people you want to come up in there. Like, it don't matter who it is.
I can't call their names because I might forget somebody.
No, it don't
the
matter.
Type of people.
Your top 5. No, I'm saying like people wise.
I'm not calling no names.
I'll say it could be anybody famous. It don't matter. It could be anybody. Anybody. Like
I'm scared of that celebrity world.
So you want one to touch nobody famous?
Kim Kimball, I think I would want. She's a big celebrity hairstylist. I wouldn't mind her coming in the salon and kind of like let me feel some things on what she been doing. Yeah. No rappers, no ball players,
and why you
no
say no
singers. I just watch how they are with their assistants and their publicists, and I'm just like, this how you treat the people who like actually have to service you? It's a big turn. Like when I was a younger stylist, I would see a lot of other stylists say, I want to be a celebrity stylist. But I've seen that at hair shows, and I'm like, they treat us like crap, man. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they pay good, but is it really worth it? I've seen them cuss at us. Like, I just seen the worst when it comes to celebrities. So I never really been big on, even like now in my own city, I ain't trying to do everybody hair. Like, I just want to live comfortably. I want to make money. I want to be happy and just live right. Like, the fame stuff, that ain't me. Right, popularity, that ain't me. So So if she would be my top, Kim Kimball, she's like a big celebrity stylist in LA. I would love for her to step into my salon, tell me what she feel, and kind of like even like do her hair. I wouldn't mind even doing her hair.
All right, that's one.
That's one. But celebrity-wise, no.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't gotta be celebrity. It could be anybody you want to come.
I wouldn't mind a female mayor. If we get a mayor in our city, I wouldn't mind her walking in, getting her hair done. Somebody who has a nice boutique in our local area, I wouldn't mind that. But like celebrity-wise, nah, I don't want that. The money sound good, but yeah. They come with big attitudes and egos, and I don't have time for that.
All right. Okay. So that's
that would be my top 3. Let me see. One of my top tattoo artists. I would love to get creative with a top tattoo artist that do hair in my local area. And a 5th one. A 5th one. I don't know, brother. I guess a comedian.
A comedian?
Yeah, a comedian.
Female or male?
Either. Like some more.
Okay.
Some more,
okay. Some more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's kind of scary too, because if I mess up, boy, she gonna talk about me at that next show, especially if it's local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking you about to say Mike Epps or something.
No.
Touch Mike Epps.
Nah. Okay. I don't want to do his hair because his stuff be looking too crisp, too clean. I don't know if I'm confident enough for Mike Epps.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's up. All right. This is the first episode of Smoker's Choice. All right. Outside.